Y'all, I just got back from town. I needed a few things, so we're going to make a bok choy soup. So I want you to be with me, and we're going to make that. And so what I've got is, you remember the other day when I cooked those little chicken wings or the little chicken drumettes? Well, I put the rest of them in this water, and I'm going to boil it. Now, you can make your bok choy soup with bought chicken broth. But since I had the chicken and I'd rather eat my own chicken broth, I'm going to boil it. And when it gets done, we'll just keep on until we make us a big old bowl of soup tonight. I'm going to go put on some more comfortable clothes, and I'll be back when the chicken's done. All right, y'all. I went back there and took my coat off and took my hat off and put me an apron on. I'm ready to roll now. All right, so our chicken has been boiling, and it looks good and tender to me. I'm fixing to put it in this platter right here. These are just those little drumsticks that come off the end of wings. I bought a pack of them the other day. Today I fried me some. The other day I fried me some. And this is the last of them right here. You know, when you're like me, you can... Food goes a long way. If you got a big family to feed it's harder. I'm gonna let them kind of cool just a little. Let's see where I can get to where y'all can talk to me while I'm doing this. Can y'all see that? I'm gonna just look that. I want you to get over here where you can see it. Let me turn this light off and this one on, and maybe that'll help to put some shadows off of everything so we can see down here on this meat. It is literally falling off the bone. I did like that, and look at that. It just falls right off. See that? These are those little drumettes, I guess they call them. I don't know. I'm going to pull them off, I'll separate them like this, and then put the bones out. And this is going to go in our bok choy soup. Y'all, I'm going to tell you what. When I was growing up, we had never heard of bok choy. we didn't know a thing about stuff like that. We knew about collards, and we knew about turnip greens, and we knew about cabbage, and I knew about Brussels sprouts, but I never... Let me show you what I got. This is my bok choy plant, right there. And we're going to sprinkle some ginger in our soup and stuff like that. I was reading about bok choy and bok choy soup. And they said if you've got the flu or if you've got a really bad cold or something like that, to fix you some bok choy soup with some ginger in it. Now, all I've got is the ground ginger. I don't have any fresh ginger, but that's okay. I'm sure it'll be delicious. I'm sure it will. I watched, while this was cooking, I watched a little of the news. Y'all, it's going to be so cold in Minnesota. It's like 17 degrees below zero, and that is not the wind chill factor. That is the temperature. How do y'all keep warm? I mean, what do you do? I guess you don't go to work or anything. You can't, again. You can't get out and work. But I guess if you're working at a hospital, what they may do is just the employees don't go home. They just stay at the hospital. Maybe they find them a bed somewhere. I don't know what y'all do. I can't believe it's so cold. They say we might get a little snow, but I doubt it. I doubt it. We don't usually get stuff like that in South Alabama. We just don't get it. I spent a long time in town today. I met some followers. They were in town. And I just kind of took my time. I drove slow and got there and did my shopping and did what I needed to do. And I thought, well, I'm going to go home and make some of this bok choy soup. And that's what I'm going to have for supper. I know one lady that's a friend of mine. She goes to the grocery store every day and buys what she wants to eat. And she goes back and fixes it. And it is kind of exciting because you don't have to have a list except for what you need to go in your dish. All right, let this cool a little bit. Let me pull the meat and separate it from the bones. I'm cooling it right now, and we're going to build our soup. Y'all, since I'm just doing a little soup, I'm not doing much. I'm not using all of this. I think I'll make me some bok choy chowder later because tonight I'm just going to do the soup. I'll do one more. And I'm going to go over there and wash it real good and cut it up. If I can find a place to wash it. I've got dirty dishes in my sink that I need to be doing. When you stay gone all day, you can't get all that stuff done, can you? Okay. Okay, I'm gonna cut this up. I put out 5 things of it. You can eat all of it. The green, the stalk, everything. You can eat it all, okay? In your soup. I am having a little bit of an earache, and I hope that it will be better tomorrow. It's not actually my ear, it's my jawbone. I'm wondering if I'm sleeping wrong. It's right there where that. I can hear it making a noise too. Am I falling apart, y'all? Sometimes do you feel like you're falling apart? Oh, goodness. But anyway, I told y'all that I went to the dentist and had him to check my teeth and make sure it wasn't my tooth. He told me, no, your teeth look good. They did an x-ray. And he said, I think it's your jawbone or either that muscle that's attached to your jawbone. So I've already taken 1 week of a steroid and 1 week of antibiotics. And it's not better. So I don't know what my next step is. All right, I put that in with my broth from my chicken, and I'm fixing to put in some salt and pepper, and I'll tell you what spices I'm gonna put in it. Okay. I got it turned on. I'll put my chicken back in there. Okay, come over here. I also am going to put in just a couple of mushrooms. I got the brown kind right here. The whole mushrooms, portobello, baby portobello. Sometimes I get the white, but I'm just going to put 2 because they're really big. They're big, so I don't really want many. I love mushrooms. As far as I know, they're good for you. Turn it right there. I'm tempted to, when this gets tender, to put milk in it. I love milk. I love chowder soups. The ones that have the white in it and all. I'm going to put some butter in it also. And this is going to be my supper tonight. One time I was in the grocery store and I said, I wish they would invent a new meat. Something I hadn't had before. But really, there's a lot of meats. It's just that I hadn't had them. All right. I'm going to put salt and pepper in there. Not much. You can always come back and put you some more if you want to, okay? Just put a little pepper. I'm going to measure this because I don't want to get too much. Oh, the ginger, I've just got ginger. But if you've got the fresh, you can grate yours and put it in there. I don't have it. I'm going to put, let's see what this is. This is a teaspoon. You know, I ain't got a recipe, y'all. I just get in here and I taste it and see how it's coming. Y'all do that. I'd rather take a beating, as they say, is to have to get out all those measuring spoons and measuring cups and that kind of thing. And if I feel like I need more, I'll do it. It didn't call for time, but I feel like it'd be good in it, so I'm going to put a sprinkle or two in it. Okay. Now I'm going to put in some onion powder. You could just saute onions if you wanted to and put sauteed onions in it. I think that would be good. And put them in there after they get tender. And I'm going to put just a little bit of garlic, which my garlic's kind of clumping up. See, I'm going to see if I can get it loosened up in there a little bit. I pour it in my hand. Oh my gosh. We'll put that much. I'm going to grind it up in there. There we go. All right. Let's let this cook a minute. The chicken's done. The mushrooms don't taste long, so all we're going to do is wait on that. Probably, I'd have to say, I don't know if the green will get tender first or if the stem will. But something will, and we'll eat us some bok choy soup. It's strong. My nose has still got a bruise spot on it right there, isn't it? Right there and right there. That's from that sleep apnea machine, I guess. I don't know what else it could be. Let me rinse my hand off. I have no idea. None whatsoever. Y'all, when you go to bed up there in Michigan, let me talk to my sweet Yankee friends. When y'all go to bed up there in Michigan, if you've got a husband in there or a wife, y'all cuddle up. Put your feet together. Put a blanket up under that sheet with you. If you've got a heating pad, I'd plug her in. And I'd put it down there where my feet are. And just get up real close to each other. George and I used to like to sleep back to back. We'd put our backs together. And sometimes we didn't do that. We slept, I called it sleeping like a puzzle. Because I'd want him to turn his back to me, and then I'd scrunch up close to him, and where his legs bent, I'd put my legs up in there too. And we'd keep warm that way. Okay, it's boiling. So I'm going to turn it down now and let it cook till it gets tender. Then I'm going to taste it. And if I feel like I need to add something else, I surely will. But you can't take salt out. So kind of just put a little bit of that in to start with. Anyway, let's see what else happened. I 5 ladies today that were at the Cottle House. They all went shopping and they had the best time. They said they went to the Christian Center, which that's the thrift shop. Every one of them said they bought something. So they just had a great time, and they're fixed to go out to eat tonight. I don't know where they've decided to go out to eat, but they're going out. One of them is pregnant. She's going to have twins. And I said, well, y'all don't be eating any candy and stuff now. You don't want the babies to be hyper. I don't know if that... They said, oh, that's the problem. She loves candy. I said, well, she better just quit eating it. Anyway. All right, we're going to be back in a minute, and you're going to eat soup with me tonight. You're going to eat soup with me tonight. And that'll be good, and we'll have a good little soup. The people in the north, I'm sure y'all's houses are warm because you're probably used to it. Do y'all cook one-pot meals like this? Just cook some soup or spaghetti or something that's a beef stew, beef stroganoff, chili, vegetable soup, chicken noodle soup, all those one-pot meals. I don't know if I told y'all this or not. I think I did. When my children, I think I did. I probably won't tell it again, but some of y'all are new. Got a lot of new followers. My husband, George, had to go to a workshop that was about 2 hours away from this house, and they were going to spend the whole week and the whole night. I mean, spend the night, the whole week. And so we have a fireplace in here. At that time, I didn't have a wood stove. We had the fireplace, a wood fireplace. And he had stacked up a lot of wood on the front porch so that I would have it while he was gone. He'd already cut it and got it split and all that for me. And the children were little, and I'm trying to think how little they were. I'm not really sure. I think they were big enough to play cards. So I'm going to say there's 2 years difference in their ages. So I'm going to say they were maybe 7 and 9 or something like that. And an ice storm, which is a rare thing in South Alabama, hit Andalusia. And it rained first, and the ice came down. And the ice was that thick on the roads. It went all over the trees and made beautiful icicles. And the leaves had, if you pulled off a piece of ice off of it, it was the shape of the leaf. It was actually gorgeous. It was like a fairyland. It was so beautiful. But it was dangerous. You couldn't go outside. And the trees were so heavy with it that the limbs were cracking and breaking, and you could hear it. It was actually dangerous to walk out the door. And here I was with 2 children, no electricity. And remember, I have no water when my electricity's off because I've got a well. No electricity, no water, no heat. But I'm a survivor. I'm going to find a way to take care of my babies. I'm kind of like one of those mama bears. George has some Bisqueen. That's that big roll of that plastic stuff, clear. And I took that Bisqueen and some duct tape, and I taped up off every room. The only room that we could use was the kitchen, because you couldn't, the bathroom, you could TT in the pot, but you couldn't flush it. So we just tried to just leave it in there and shut the top. It was terrible. Anyway, we had this room and that dining room in there. That's all we had. And everything else, I Bisqueened it up so that we could just keep these 2 rooms warm with that fireplace. And so I told Dallas and Hannah to help me. And we took a mattress off of one of the beds in the bedroom and drug it down the hall and laid it in front of the fire. Put blankets and pillows and all that stuff all over it where we'd have a place to sleep where it was warm. And we had a dog. His name was Major. He was a half German Shepherd and a half hound dog. And he came in and he slept with us. Anyway, I got hungry. They were hungry. We were all hungry. And so my stove wouldn't work. We didn't have gas, so the stove wouldn't work because it was electric. And so I got one of my big old black pots like that, right there. That one right there. But it was bigger. And we went outside and broke off a bunch of icicles and stuff from right around the edge of the house. Put them in that pot, set that pot on the fire so we'd have some water. And I started cooking. And I threw in everything I could find. You talking about a crazy soup? We had it. I don't know what all I threw in there. Anything that was edible, that's what I threw in there. It might have had 2 or 3 meats. It might have had 1 potato. I don't know. I don't even remember what I put in there. But I cooked on that fireplace that whole week, and we just kept that soup hot and kept adding stuff to it. That's how they used to do a long time ago. That's why stuff didn't go bad. They would eat on a pot of beans a month. You just kept them hot, and no bacteria could grow. And so anyway, when George came home, finally got home, I had 1 stick of wood left on that porch. That's all. I taught him how to play gin rummy, and we played gin rummy with the cards and told stories and played with the dog and ate and loved on each other and slept all together. The dog and Dallas and Hannah and me on the same mattress in the same place. All of us were laying in there. That big hound dog and us. But you know what? sometimes when we think back at our memories, we made a memory. And we made a memory out of a bad situation. And I'm sure that some of you people in the North, when you get through with this adventure, it's not an adventure, is it? Through with this terrible situation that you're fixed to be in, you will have made a memory, all right, to tell your children and grandchildren about the year in January of 1925 when the ice storm hit and the frigid weather hit. And so you'll be able to tell them that. You will. Miss Gantt, George's mama, sometimes I was afraid to eat at her house because I wasn't raised like they did. She'd have something on the stove and it'd sit there for days and we'd have to eat it. It was like a soup or whatever. And in the morning when she got up, she'd bring it to a boil. She said, I need to bring this soup to a boil before we eat it. And she'd boil and boil that soup. She's, I guess, killing bacteria, germs, or whatever. I don't know, but I ate it. I was married to her son. I knew better not to eat it. Let's let this cook a while, and I'm going to get back with you, and we are going to eat some bok choy soup. Well, I just tasted it, and it needs another teaspoon of ginger, so I put it in there. Hey, y'all, everything's tender, y'all. Let me get some in here so you can see it. I was reading about the bok choy soup while y'all were, while it was getting tender, and it said that it's really good when you're sick. Now, I'm not sick, but... And it also said sometimes you can add just a touch of maple syrup for sweetness. So let's do that. Let's add just a scoot of this. Not much of this. That's all of plenty, because that stuff's strong. Now, I've already tasted it. You know I have, because I have to taste it to make sure it tastes right. So what I added more of is I added more ginger and more salt. That's what I added. It needed it both. It doesn't look that good, does it? It doesn't look so good, but you know what? It's kind of like us. We might not look so good either, but we're pretty good old folks, aren't we? Oh, Lordy. All right, so here it is. Got chicken, bok choy, mushrooms, chicken broth from the good fresh chicken, and ginger and salt and pepper and garlic and a little thyme and that maple syrup. So I must take the broth first. That'd make anybody feel better if they had a bad cold. Okay, let's get a little bok choy in there. It's good and tender. It has a real different flavor than what I'm used to, but I like it. I like it, and I hope it'll be good for my body. A lot of y'all have been asking about what can we eat that's healthy. What can we eat that doesn't have sugar? What can we eat that didn't have this or that? Well, here you go. This is healthy. It tastes good. And I like it. Talk to y'all later. Have a good night. Rest good. And Yankee friends, I feel for you, darling. I do. Y'all keep warm. Keep safe. Love you. Bye-bye.